Hey everybody, it's Barbara. And I know this is a little unusual because I don't usually show you the box that everything comes in, the shipper of shippers, if you will. But this is the first time I've ever seen Integrity do something where they show you that it is the Upgrade Dolls Assortment Pack. This is a custom box which should tell you how important this collection is. These are the three Upgrade dolls from the W Club. There is a New Face, there is a Poppy, and there is a Fashion Royalty. And let's go ahead and do the unveil. The first one, as I said, is a New Face. And it is a Giselle in a lovely white dress. The second is Poppy Parker in her brand new Poppy Parker box, which I will say a whole lot more about when I do the Poppy review in a couple minutes. And the third, the Fashion Royalty, is very special to the W Club because it's the first time that club members were actually invited to participate in the design. We were able to pick the general design of her ensemble and her hair color. And I think we were even allowed to pick who she was, like Agnes as opposed to another character. So we're actually going to interview them. Yes, I'm going to interview the dolls. They're going to talk to me, and then my family's going to bring me to Bellevue. What's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep this as the first section of each of the reviews. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a review properly for each of the dolls, okay? So let's go ahead and break off here and we'll see which doll is coming up next. You should probably have that from the title. All right, let's check him out. If Delilah lets us. And here is Giselle. I wanted just to take a moment, separate from the brief introduction, just to focus a little bit on Giselle and the box. The box itself is not going to be the selling point here. This isn't like Poppy or 59th Street where they're going to go out of their way with the box. But I do want to point out that the dress does travel very well. I was afraid that it wouldn't because it looked very delicate in all the photos. It is very delicate and evidently tasty. But it is... but it traveled very well. It didn't rip, it didn't tear. And I also wanted to take a moment to, as gently as I can, which may not be very gently at all, pull out the accessories. Again, the New Face with the, it's going to be tricky to see it in this light, with the New Face logo, but it is embedded in to the box. Her accessories are a very interesting black and white bootie, which is going to add some pop. Obviously, it's going to go with the belt, and it'll add some pop at her feet. She comes with this very, very lovely Fabergé style egg purse. Extra pair of hands as always. And her jewels. So let's go ahead, debox her, and talk about the entire look put together. Okay, here is Giselle deboxed. Full disclosure, which you will more than likely see in a couple minutes when I scroll down, I did not take Giselle's stand out. The New Face stands are pretty standard, as are the FR stands. And since I've got my cat running around, I wanted to use the stand that I already had out without having to cut things open and potentially give Delilah something to play with she couldn't play with. Anyway, Giselle is a honey blonde. She is, her hair is loose and free. I'm going to turn her very slowly. And then bring the camera in for a close-up. She's got that kind of drawn back ponytail that's in vogue. You can see that the sides have been pulled in and then twisted around a ponytail. This part here is gelled, so you would have to ungel it, but the rest of it is not. So it does have some very good playability and restyling if you're into that. And since we're here, I might as well just very quickly show you that the dress is going to close with hook and eye and is gauzy lined. The dress has several layers to it, but it's not lined in silk. It lines itself in its layering. Okay? But let's go back forward. I'll pull back and up. Giselle's palette, not surprisingly, matte coloring, brownish purples in the eyes, very nicely coming together. The purples would have sort of like an earth tone purple to them. Of course, her eyes are lined in black. And her lashes are applied. They're real. Her earrings are red stones, which is very interesting because they would work with Agnes's collection. If you wanted to, you could throw them over to Agnes. But it's a very nice setting for earrings. She's got a frosted pink lip. Almost not a lipstick at all. When you see it, you'll notice this. It almost looks like she's not wearing anything at all, with maybe just the tiniest hint of gloss. It's very natural looking, which works with the natural fibers of her dress. The overlays are very delicate lace with polka dots, and that repeats at the cuffs. Mostly it's stripes going horizontally. She's wearing a black belt because she's ready for karate, with gold buckles on either side. And then that horizontal striping again, followed by the lacy detail at the bottom again with the polka dots. She's not wearing stockings in her legs. And interesting, as I said, the shoes, which I will drop, and I'm going to drop the podium. I'm going to drop this down so I can get in closer. The shoes are black and white booties to pick up both the dress and the belt. And the heels are very high. They are black, they are very high, and each outer side of the booty is going to have a nice stitching detail that goes back to the fine detailing in the dress. So that's a very nice pickup from integrity. Now I'm going to go back up and we're going to talk about the jewelry on her hand a little bit more, and this is the part that I am not crazy about. Hands tend to be a problem for me, and as in I've come very close to and have twice now destroyed a hand taking them on and off. To get this bracelet on successfully, because it is a cuff, it's not just this cuff. The cuff is attached to a chain and then to this long piece here that fits over the middle fingers. You actually have to bend the hand. You have to bend the hand joint to a 90-degree angle to back it into the hand to get this whole piece on. I really don't want to show you how to do it, because I'm literally afraid of breaking the hand again. But this is going to be a hard piece of jewelry to put on. You're going to have to basically, and I can't even really mimic it here. Excuse me. I can't mimic it here. You're going to have to basically bend the hand, because I can't do it now because the necklace. You're going to have to bend this hand to a 90-degree angle just to slip it into the slot to hold it. And then, luckily, the ring is much easier to put on and much more obvious. There's a much more obvious place for it, and it's a little star with a red gemstone center. Another thing that could get tricky, depending on the stand you use, and there are many options stand-wise that you can use. It could get tricky to balance this. This, as I said, and it goes to why she's called Majesty, if you think about it. This is a faux Fabergé egg-esque clutch. It does not open. It's basically just for her to carry for accent's sake. It's very nicely detailed. It's sturdy. It's not going to come off the strap, but it will throw the doll balance off, so you're going to have to really play with the stand to make sure that it's balanced straight. And again, you'll have the same buckle detail as on the belt. Another good, this is a solid catch. Now, this is the part in the review where I make a decision. What do I tell you? Do I tell you to go for this? Obviously, go for the doll. It's a very lovely Giselle. One of her softer faces. I will push it back. It's one of her softer faces. So yes, you definitely want to go for that. But at the same time, and the dress is quite lovely, so you definitely want to go for the doll and the dress. The problem comes in again with this bracelet. And you know, if you're a moron like me, you're going to have trouble getting that bracelet on and off, which is a shame because it looks really good on her and it's a really nice piece of jewelry. It's just going to be very tricky to take on and off. So you're definitely going to want to think about that very carefully when you're fully dressing the doll. So for Delilah, who just wrecked the set, that's what cats are for, and for Giselle and for myself, I'm Barbara, and I will see you in the final W Club review, Riviera Agnes. Take care, everybody.